Alright, what on earth is going on here? There are all these bots out here that are clearly bots outside Remington House Portal on World 377, not the House Party world, and they're all just sitting here. They're all level 35 or level 36. They all have weird generic names, and they have been sitting here for a very long time. They're not going anywhere. It looks like they're trying to get into someone's house, but I don't know why. Look at them, there's so many. They're all just here, and they're all identical. They're all wearing, most of them are wearing Ghost Speak amulets. They have the Silver Sickle Blessed, so I assume they're doing the mushroom farming in Canifis, and that's why they have the Ghost Speak amulet, so they can get there, and they have all those quests done, so that's why they're at the same combat level. But what the fuck, they're all here. They've been here for I first saw them here half hour ago, and they're back. They're still here rather. I guess they're trying to get into someone's house, but the person isn't available. Maybe they've been banned or something. But yeah, what the fuck? How are these people not banned? I don't know what is going on. What is there else to say? But kudos to that guy, I guess, for making like 10 accounts that are all identical. Who the fuck would have the patience for that unless they bought the quests as well? In which case, that's not very good. But yeah, these are all members accounts too, by the way. So they're paying however many dollars a month for these bots to be members. That is really freaking insane. But yeah, please Jagex ban all of these people right away, because there's no way that these are legit players. Hey guys, what's up? It's AndrewAJT back for another video for you guys. Today we're going to be looking at some PKing clips and seeing how I do with some of these rune fights. Rune fights are definitely some of the most fun fights for me in the game. They're very simple. It's kind of weird that it's like so organized, but like as in the sense that you walk up to someone, you say, "Hey, fight?" question mark, and then say, "Okay, sure," and then pot up and everything. That's never what the wilderness has been really about to me. That's why you guys see I do a lot of deep wildy PKing, a lot of PKing where it's survival of the fittest, and you know there's no questions asked. It's just if I see you, I'm gonna kill you, or if I see a huge team, I'm gonna get the fuck out of there. But yeah, so rune fights are definitely really good. The thing is with them is that it's kind of inactive a little bit, I would say. Maybe it's because there is the bounty hunter worlds and the PvP worlds, as you see the first KO right there. And honestly, PKing on 07 is not super active. I guess Deadman mode takes away some people, but a lot of these clips are when from Deadman was not out yet, or at least the current season, so there still wasn't a lot of people playing. But you can still find fights and make quite a lot of money off of PKing, as you're going to see here. Here's a guy fighting with a heavy ballista in the Elite Void. I don't really understand main PKing with Elite Void because your defense is going to be so bad, as you see right there, just cutting right through him with the AGS and getting that big heavy ballista PK. So yeah, other things, speaking of accuracy, is the gear I use. I use a fighter hat, which is kind of unique in the sense that it gives you accuracy compared to the Nezi, which gives you strength, and I think the accuracy is very important. Here's a Derek fight. I don't have too many of these clips, so I just figured I'd put this one in here. But yeah, the fighter hat gives you 5 slash bonus, also gives you stab bonus and crush bonus as well. And I think accuracy is really huge for PKing because remember, I'm fighting everyone who has 99 defense, and in general, it's not very accurate. Like if you do a Darok fight and Darok has such high defense, you're going to be hitting so many zeros, especially with the D-skim, that any accuracy you can get in these rune fights is very, very helpful. So as you're seeing in most of these clips, the weapon of choice for me always in most of these rune fights is going to be the Armadyl Godsword, and for a couple reasons. One is the huge KO potential that it has. It can hit up to 37.5% higher with the spec, and the strength bonus of it is almost as good as the Elder Maul, which has the highest strength bonus in the game, and it actually used to be the highest strength bonus. I think it's like 132, and then when you add the Fire Cape and all that in there, it gets quite high, so the KO potential is really huge. I believe I can hit a 73 in this gear, which is very good, very good. And a lot of people don't know the AGS spec also has a double chance of hitting in terms of accuracy, which is really, really crucial there. It actually didn't help me out there because I didn't hit anything. But yeah, in these rune fights where everyone's 99 defense, the extra accuracy of the AGS can be very, very helpful. Also, the other reason that I love using it is because it's actually a pretty good KO weapon. I didn't actually need it there, but it's a very good KO weapon when you don't have a spec with it, and sometimes even if you just want to save your spec, because I used to do a lot of free-to-play PKing, and obviously the only really KO weapon you have is the Rune 2H, and it could kind of serve as that pay-to-play Rune 2H, because you can just whack with the AGS and it'll kill people hitting up to 60s and such, so it's very, very useful for that. So I've spent a lot of time trying to find the most optimal inventory setup for PKing, and this is pretty much it, I think. I think I found the best setup. So a couple things I have arranged is the Super Combat Pod, obviously. I mentioned before that the Super Combat Pod is extremely expensive, so it's not really worth using for PVM in certain situations. But for PvP it is, because every time you have to brew, you're going to have to repot as well, and the Super Combat Pod saves you drinking a potion dose because it's the super attack and strength in one. But you see there also my eating setup. So the tuna potatoes are very good because they're very cheap. They heal 2 more than sharks, and they're not too much more expensive. I shouldn't say they're very cheap, but they're certainly not too much more than sharks. And then I have the brew right next to it and the karambuan. So you can combine the karambuan and the tuna potato to heal 40 HP in 1 tick, which is very, very good. You just eat the tuna potato and then you eat the karambuan right after. But there's actually something else you can do. So I did get the loot here, by the way, for this double KO. So you'll see in many of these clips that the way my top of the inventory is lined up is that I have the tuna potato, and this is not a good example here because I was out of food, but you can actually combine 3 things in one to eat very quickly and to heal something like maybe 58 HP or something in 1 tick. Basically what you can do is you can eat the tuna potato and then you eat a brew and then or drink the brew and then you eat the karambuan, and you can actually do that all in 1 tick, I believe. So that's a very, very quick way to eat. I think a lot of people don't know about that, and it's just a very good way to survive. Like, for example, if I'm like 10 HP and I know the AGS spec is about to come, then I'll do that and I will be able to live a good amount of the time. Of course, you always want to turn Prey Melee on after every fight, and if you're not fighting in general, just so you don't get rushed. You guys may remember me talking about that in my rushing video. The other thing to mention is the summer pies in my inventory, and what's the purpose of those. So for these rune fights, if you're at like 70 something HP, you could be spec'd out and killed in 1 hit, but if you ate there, you would be at 92 HP, and anyone in the wilderness would call you a safer for eating too high. So the summer pies heal 12, which is kind of like a medium amount, and I really like that. So when I'm at like 70 HP, I don't want to eat a tuna potato because that would obviously be safing, but eating the summer pie would heal me 12 HP, and then I'd be at 82, which isn't really a safing number, because if you were at 60 and ate, you'd be 82, and no one would really blame you. So it's really the same thing to eat the summer pie and kind of heal up a little bit without quite being considered a safer. And yeah, it's definitely a very good strategy. A lot of people use the Guthix Rest for this, so that heals 5, and the advantage with that is it doesn't actually take off, and it doesn't actually delay your hits a little bit, so it doesn't cause any hit lag. But I think the summer pie is worth it because 5 is way less than 12. And this is actually kind of grimy clip here. I prayed melee at the last second there because I was about to run from the fight, and I figured let's just try to get this KO before I start running. I didn't notice the tuna potato in the bottom of my inventory, so I apologize to that guy for praying for that, but oh well. I really do like the current system of untradables in PvP worlds and the wilderness, where if you're below 20 wilderness, you can keep your untradables on death, and then you just have to pay like cash, like 45k for example, for the torso, I think, to get them repaired. Because originally when 07 came out, people would just get the fighter hat, they'd get the fire cape, they'd get their torso, and then they'd go PKing, and you pretty much have to risk nothing. You can just risk like rune legs, and then you can use a strength Emmy, and then you could risk pretty much nothing. Instead, in all these clips, I'm getting the like 175k cash stack, which is really, really nice. As you see there, something like that. There you go, 145k, close enough, and it really does add to the profits from PKing, which are quite good. I can make probably a mil or 2 per hour just doing these rune fights if I'm winning most of them, and I can usually win most of them. Obviously, you can get unlucky sometimes, so but you get these big hits here, and it really just adds up with these high AGS hits. And just as a bonus, here's a rushing clip. I usually don't like to use an ice spell before I do the claw rushing. I usually just rely on the claws hitting high enough. But in this clip, I forgot to change my attack option, so I stood under this guy, and then I just spec'd him anyway. And watch this second spec through the prayer. It still kills him. Isn't that amazing? That was really a really dumb rushing clip, but I still managed to kill him somehow, which is really nice. So that's going to do it for the video today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed these PKing clips that I mostly recorded over the summer, But I definitely wanted to get these clips their own video rather than just sprinkling them in all over the place. They didn't have their own live commentary, so I decided to just do commentary over all of them manually, which, sorry if it was a little sloppy, but I think I brought up some interesting things about, you know, PKing and rune fights and how the best strategies are that I found. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video, guys. If you want, you guys can join the clan chat, AndrewAJT62. That'll be up on screen. We had 33 people in there the other day, which is pretty freaking insane. That's the most the clan chat has ever had, really, for any significant amount of time. The clan chat started in 2010, so considering we're 7 years into it and we're still getting that numbers of people, and really that many people on a consistent basis for the first time, is pretty insane. So if you want to join, you can. That'll be up on screen, as I mentioned. If anyone can join it. You can be a skiller, Iron Man, if you want to do PVM with us, if you want to PK with us, things like that. Or if you just want to hang out and talk, that's all good. Anything goes, really. Other things to mention is you can follow me on Twitter down below, where I tweet about OSRS pretty much all the time, and if you play OSRS, I'll probably follow you back. You can follow me on Twitch down below, and you could also support us on Patreon if you would like, and that'll be on the end screen for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you guys hopefully soon. This weekend schedule for videos seems to be working out pretty well. I might be a little bit too busy next weekend, but we'll see what I can do for you guys. Definitely want to keep the videos rolling on a consistent basis. Definitely been enjoying coming back. Thanks, guys.